Let's get into the online business stuff. So
Sure.
now, we want to talk about like YouTube, right? And we want to learn kind of your secrets around YouTube and how to be successful on that. So what are your 3 biggest tips around being a big YouTuber?
Yeah, so I'm on record saying this, a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of times just because I genuinely believe that YouTube is the best business model in 2020.
Nice.
And the reason I say that is just because you reach so many people, all the eyeballs are on YouTube, and it's free to do. Okay. I'm not sitting in some production studio. This is my living room. I have some lights. You make it look good. You can record with a cell phone and an internet connection, and you can start a business today if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
So, to answer your question, the 3 tips that I would give any aspiring YouTube entrepreneur or YouTube business owner, if you will, be consistent. Don't do it for the money because you're never going to succeed. And then third of all, it's just be yourself. That's why it's called YouTube. It's about you. You can only be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Kind of be in your own lane.
Yeah.
I think that if you start a YouTube channel because you want to make money and you see all these YouTubers with these like corny, like supercars and they're in their garage with like a Lamborghini in the back, like if that's what you want to be, you're never going to make it because you're not starting a channel out of passion. You're starting a channel trying to make money. And there's two big differences. When you start a channel out of passion, whether you hit highs or lows, or you get 1 million views or 10 views, you're still going to make the videos because you love doing them. You truly have a passion for it. If you're doing it for the money, after 6 months of not seeing any results, you're going to say, screw this, I'm done with YouTube, and you're going to be done. Yeah. So I think that that's my biggest tip is don't do it for the money, do it because you're passionate about something.
Yeah, no, those are great tips. And then do you feel like that's really what made you successful? And do you feel like, I think a lot of people try to hone in on, SEO and like technical stuff about YouTube. Do you think that ultimately it's just more about kind of being yourself and delivering value? Or do you feel like you need a mix of both of like, you need to learn these tactics or like, what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, somewhere in the middle, you have to be, how do I say it? Your content has to be good and you have to be yourself and that creative artsy aspect of it. But no one's going to find you if you don't understand the SEO aspect of YouTube. So what people need to realize is that YouTube is the world's 2nd biggest search engine and it's owned by Google. So Google and YouTube are like this, okay? Whatever you find on a Google search, they may take you to YouTube and vice versa. So I think that if you understand the SEO, and for your audience, that obviously stands for search engine optimization. I'm sure they know that. The way you title your videos, the way you do your thumbnails, the way you write your descriptions, the way you tag the videos, the things you actually say in the videos, those all help with search engine optimization to get you discovered. And also, I think shareability is one of the biggest metrics that YouTube looks for. If people are sharing your content, that means that it's that good that they want someone else to see it.
Do you have any advice around, the title and the thumbnails and stuff like that?
So I think that you need to be somewhere, again, in the middle. You can't be, Mr. and Mrs. Clickbait, but at the same time, you can't be like dry. So it's like, I'm somewhere in the middle because and again, it also depends on your content as well. So my content is more educational, informative. It's not like, watch Marko destroy or chug this burger, stuff like that. Yeah. It's more like, how to open up a checking account. That's not what I talk about on my channel, but that's just an example. So think more like, what your channel is, understand what your content is, and try and form your titles and your thumbnails around that type of content. If I try doing like sensationalist titles and, having like explosions in the background talking about how to open a checking account, that doesn't really make sense, right? Now, if I have kind of like a informative, nice title that's not super clickbaity and a nice thumbnail, that's more in line with my brand and what I'm trying to teach. So you have to have a little bit of common sense with this stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. And do you feel like you learned that stuff before you even started, or did you kind of learn along the way?
Definitely along the way, because I look at my old videos and they're like borderline embarrassing. It's like, who is this idiot? You know what I mean? But yeah, you definitely learn it along the way, but you also have to create your own style, because I feel like a lot of people, they hire this stuff out, so all their thumbnails just end up looking like everyone else's. I think that if you just take, 10 extra minutes of your day and create your own thumbnail, it'll resonate, and it'll also create your own brand image. So when you see like Coca-Cola, you know right away, okay, this is Coca-Cola. When you see the Pepsi logo, okay, this is Pepsi. You know, when you see a generic thumbnail, you're kind of like, who is this guy again? But I think once you start creating your own style, you'll start to create that subconscious brand recognition in your audience's mind.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think right now with my thumbnails, I've definitely started doing it a certain way, like doing certain colors and stuff like that. So definitely like brand colors and maybe like your fonts and stuff. Like once you have that recognizable, you have that yellow, the back, right? Kind of
That's
thing.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There you
Yeah.
go.
Got the
Hey,
yellow back, the whiteboard. Yeah.
it's not pretty, but people are like, yeah, oh, you know, I recognize your videos because of this. So yeah, it's kind of just pounding it in their head, you know?
No, that's a great point. I think everyone's trying to like make it super clickbaity or like pretty or whatever, but then it's more about the cohesiveness. Like if you can make that brand style, people will always like think of you, you know what I mean? So that's a great point.
Exactly.
And then when it comes to your growth, right, with your YouTube channel, when you first started, was there like a certain point where it just started blowing up, or like was there like that hockey stick growth type of visual type of thing, or like
Yeah. So real quick. So what allowed me to quit my job? Yes, definitely hockey stick growth. It was crazy.
mm-hmm,
I legitimately couldn't believe it, but that's not, you can't bank on going viral. You have to consistently put out good content for the
mm-hmm,
algorithm to recognize and appreciate you.
mm-hmm,
So I started my channel in November of 17. I hit a couple of nice, you know, doubles or triples, if you want to use a baseball analogy. I had a video talking about like top 3 marijuana stocks for 2018 or
nice.
cannabis stock. And that kind of blew up because that's when there's becoming, you know, sexy, like the whole cannabis, you know, sector for stocks.
Mm-hmm,
So that blew up, got 6 figures. Fast forward like maybe 6, 7, 8 months later, I was at like 15,000 subscribers. I had a couple deaths in the family, got married, you know, a lot of stuff all at once. It was like a perfect storm of just like, hey, forget YouTube. I'm done with this. Wasn't on YouTube for 6 months, started back up in October of 18 and have been
mm-hmm,
consistent ever since.
mm-hmm,
And I will say that my videos after that October of 2018 start, it took about 6 months for the algorithm to start like respecting me again, because my videos were not getting pushed out to people. It was one of those things where it's like, man, I'm taking all this time and effort and I'm getting like a few hundred views or a few thousand views or
mm-hmm,
whatever, you know, and it's just like, man, this sucks. Why am I doing all this hard work for? But after 6 months, something happened to where you start to see a little bit more comments, a little bit more engagement, a little bit more views. And
mm-hmm,
then finally in April of 19, earlier in 19, I actually printed out my goals. So I
mm-hmm,
keep my goals in a Google Drive spreadsheet. If you saw
mm-hmm,
my video on that, you already know the story. But
mm-hmm.
basically, I print all my personal and business goals out. I didn't have ink in my printer till April because I kept forgetting. You know, it's like you go to Costco, you go to the store, it's like, oh man, I forgot the ink again. So I bought ink when I went to Costco, finally printed out my goals in April of 19, put it on my wall. And one of those goals was have a video that gets like 150,000 views. It was just kind of like my own version of going viral. I
Mm-hmm.
swear on everything. I don't know if it's like the Matrix or God or Mother Nature. I don't know. I don't know if this is a simulation. Who knows what the hell life is, but whatever it is, I put those goals up on the wall and
Yeah.
my channel blew up. That's when that car dealership video went viral, literally the next day. And I start to see 1 comment, 2 comments, 10 comments. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because that video came out in March. I'm like, what's going on? This is like a month later. And next thing you know, I go from like 10,000 views on that video to like
Mm-hmm.
100,000 to like 300,000,
Wow.
800,000. And that's when the channel, you know, blew up and I was
Mm.
able to, you know, live off that ad revenue.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
it,
was insane.
yeah, I mean, wait, you said 6 months or you said 1 month? Because you said 6 months it takes to pick up, or did you mean,
Sorry.
yeah,
So I took a break for 6 months,
got it. Okay, yeah.
came back in October of
Mm-hmm.
18,
Mm-hmm.
started posting consistently again for 6 months.
Okay.
So think of that 6 months as like like you're in a sandbox, like you just start a new blog and Google doesn't
Mm.
trust you yet. They're like, do we really like Sharon? You know, do we really trust her?
Yeah.
Okay. After 6 months, Sharon's been putting out good content, good content, good content. Now I'll put her on the first page of Google. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay.
So after that 6 months of posting consistently,
Mm-hmm.
after being off of it for 6 months, I think that's when the algorithm started to think again, like, oh, okay, Marco's for real. He didn't quit on us, for example.
Okay. So it wasn't that like during that down period you randomly saw stuff come up.
No, no
It's
way,
like,
no.
yeah. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I wish. Then I would just like sip drinks on the beach, dude. I wouldn't even make
Yeah.
videos.
Right. And then, yeah, you started consistently posting for 6 months, you said. And then one of your videos a month later actually started picking up. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it absolutely blew up. And that it's kind of like a high tide raises all ships kind of a thing, to where it's like all my other videos started getting thousands of views as well, just because that one had so many. So
Mm.
that's another tip to your audience if they do decide to start a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been a one-hit wonder. You get a viral video, but guess what? You're not going to get any subscribers if you don't have other content.
Mm.
You know, like why would I subscribe to another channel if it's just like they have one video and that's it? It's like, okay, I'm not going to commit to that. But
Mm-hmm.
once they get to your channel off a viral video and see that all your other videos are really good information too, then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get the subscribers. Then you're going to start building an audience. So that's my advice. You know, whether you think your stuff, you know, sucks or is awesome and it's not getting the views you think it should,
Mm-hmm.
you need to just keep putting out content either way. Because once you do hit it big on that one video, people will
Mm-hmm.
start to look at your old stuff and they'll say, oh, you know, Sharon's for real, Marco's for real, and then they'll subscribe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel like the content you put out after, like during that 6 months, was even better than the stuff you did before? Like, was there any difference in how you posted?
Good question. And I was getting frustrated because I didn't think it was any worse or any better, but the views just weren't there. You know, you go from getting like, you know, a bunch off like the marijuana or the
Mm-hmm.
cannabis stock video and your other videos. And then next thing you know, you're getting like a fraction of that. Like I genuinely thought I was like shadow banned or something, you know what I mean? Because like I wasn't getting that many views.
Mm.
But to answer your question, I didn't think the content was better or worse. It was just still solid, good financial content.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, the algorithm wasn't pushing it out as much as it did.
Okay. So it's almost like, you know, you should just keep putting stuff out there that's like good. And then one day it'll possibly like find a random video that like ends up, you know, doing really well, huh? So
Yeah,
it's, yeah.
and also that's correct. And if you put out evergreen content, stuff that's always going to be relevant, like
Mm.
how to tie your shoes or how to tie a tie, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you know, people are going to be searching for that 10 years from now. You know, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to realize that that's the beauty of YouTube. You make it once, and it's always going to get searched for if it's a relevant evergreen topic.
Okay. I mean, that's great to hear kind of your journey, and like people will be like, oh, okay, I think I'm doing the right thing then, you know? Because I think a
Yeah.
lot of people question like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I need to like fix this, or like, can you guys evaluate my channel? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but ultimately I think it is patience, and like you keep, you know, pushing stuff out there that you think is good, right?
For sure. And that goes back to my earlier point of if you're starting for money, like if you're starting a channel for money, you're never going to push through that tough period.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you monetize your YouTube channel now? Is it mainly ad revenue, or do you do some affiliate marketing? Like what do you?
Yeah, good question. So I'd say that a majority of my income or a good portion of it is from ad revenue. However, affiliate marketing, doing pretty well with that just based on things that I genuinely like, know, and trust. So say, for example, like Fundrise, I talked about it earlier. They don't sponsor me. They don't pay me to say anything, but that is one of my affiliates or one of the things I'm affiliated with just because I believe in the product. So I talk about it on my channel. Hey, if you want to support the channel at no additional cost to you, click on the link below, and they click on the link, and
Mhm.
if they sign up, I get compensated for that. So that's affiliate marketing for your audience if they don't understand how that works.
Mhm.
So affiliate marketing is a good portion of my income. I do want to create 2 courses this year. One on actually how to start a YouTube channel,
Oh,
just because
nice.
I believe in the business model that much.
Mhm.
And then the second one, maybe something more related to investing. So you can do digital products, you can do affiliate marketing, ad revenue, subscriptions, Patreon. You know, there's a million ways to monetize a YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like when you build up your own personal brand, even through a blog or something like that, you can do it with multiple ways. And that's what I love about it. So
For
that's
sure.
awesome. Do you find it hard thinking of topics to talk about? Like, do you see yourself running out of stuff to say in the future, or do you feel like it's like a never ending type of thing?
So with finance and the way I've positioned my channel, I
Hmm.
like it because if you think of like a pyramid, I
Hmm.
do like evergreen stuff on the bottom. So stuff that's always going to be relevant. So like how
Hmm.
to tie your shoes, how to tie a tie.
Hmm.
Then in the middle, it can be like trending. So something that's going on in the news, like the coronavirus at the time of this recording, for example. How
Hmm.
is the coronavirus going to affect the markets? And
Hmm.
then at the top of that pyramid, like the fats, oils, and sweets, you know, they eat sparingly on the very tip, you know, don't make too many videos about this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the inflammatory, how Dave Ramsey's wrong about credit cards and how
Mm.
dealers rip you off. So I don't want to be that guy, but I'll do it. I'll throw it in maybe once every couple months, for example. So that's really my content strategy.
Mm.
To answer your question, I mean, no, just because finance is always evolving. There's
Yeah.
always something new to talk about.
Okay, yeah. And you said it's a pyramid. So you're saying like the evergreen is your main chunk and then you
Yes.
like do less of the other one, less of that, but like
Yes,
that's how you
exactly.
mix it up kind of thing or
Exactly. Or at least I try to. Yeah.
yeah, do you find that like this mix actually resonates well with your audience because they don't get bored of like a certain type? Or, I mean, something I think about is like, I feel like before I was putting up kind of random videos, like, because my whole thing is online business and like passive income stuff. And that can be multiple like things, right? That can be building a brand. It can be Etsy, it can be Amazon FBA and stuff. So my worry is like, you know, sometimes I jump topics too much where they're like, okay, like I can't follow this because like this doesn't relate to me. So like for you, do you find that you've developed a strategy where like when people follow along, everything can be in a series, you know, they don't get lost, they don't get bored type of thing?
Yeah, that's the smart way to do it. But I will say that I noticed that my audience definitely is there. I don't want to say segmented, but I have
Mm-hmm.
about, almost 290,000 subscribers. But I know for a fact some subscribe for a car video or car related
Mm,
content. The other ones subscribe for stock market content. The other ones subscribe for news, like
mm,
what's going on in the financial news. So you're 100% right. It's definitely segmented. And I
mm-hmm.
will see other types of videos perform better than others just because of the subject matter. But at the end of the day, I think that it all encompasses like finance. So how you said it's all about, online businesses and passive income. I still feel that everything I talk about is still within the financial realm. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you signed up, or subscribed because of a car video, you're still going to get value out of, hey, how do I open up a 401k kind of a thing. So I do feel like it is segmented for sure. And like I said, other videos do better than others. But I think that, as long as it's within your realm, your financial realm, or making money online for your example, I think
Mm-hmm.
that the audience will still appreciate it for the most part. But I could be wrong. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like you in a sense of, you know, I love talking about this stuff and it can be like a bunch of different interests type of thing, like around the same topic though. So I still want to talk about them all. I like don't know if I can just niche down to like, oh, Amazon FBA or like only, you know what I mean? And I do think it's all kind of in the realm of maybe like financial freedom. Like in the future, I just want to make sure everyone understands how to like design their lives type of thing and like creates that, financial future for themselves. That might even encompass finance in the future. Who knows? But like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see where it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
typically advocate newer YouTubers. I always say like the riches are in the niches, like
it's true.
it's
Yeah.
better to like focus down. But
Hmm.
I think that once you get to a point, as long as you have some level of understanding or expertise, or you can teach it, for example, I think it's okay to talk about different things. But I wouldn't start like a car channel and you're just all over the place about cars, 'cause it's a very
True.
broad niche. Like maybe you can take a different take on it, like, oh, I'll drive around with people while they show me their custom car. Like that's kind of a
Mm,
niche. Or
hmm.
you can talk about only new cars that are coming out and review that. So you don't want to be the entire car gamut, but you can be little pieces within it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Niching down is definitely something I struggle with, and I'm working on that.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So now, you're doing YouTube full time. Do you have a specific monetization strategy you're focusing on more? Like, so you said, multiple streams. Do you find that maybe affiliate marketing is the one that you're going to focus on more? Or like, yeah, what's your plan?
Yeah, I definitely want to level out the income between ad revenue and affiliate marketing. I think that where blogs were 10 years ago in terms of being able to rank for certain topics, I think that's where YouTube is now today. It's a lot easier. Okay.
Hmm.
So if I came out with a review of 2020 M1 Finance review. So for your audience that may not know, M1 Finance is just a broker. You can buy and sell stocks there. I can never rank in a million years with my blog, whiteboardfinance.com, on the first page for an M1 Finance 2020 review, right? There's
Hmm.
20 other sites that employ hundreds of people that write these articles all day long. I'm just one guy in Cleveland, Ohio, right?
Hmm.
Now on YouTube, there's a chance for me to get onto the first page, potentially even the first result of YouTube when someone types in M1 Finance 2020 review, right?
Hmm.
So I definitely want to start getting more into review videos and giving an objective, unbiased opinion.
Hmm.
That's what I want to do with my website, but I also want to parlay that with my YouTube strategy as well. So to answer your question, yeah, affiliate marketing, I hope that to even overtake my share of revenue other than ad revenue as well.
Awesome.